Right, former Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann joined me on the program yesterday from Geneva, Switzerland, where she's attending the World Health Assembly. Now, she raised the alarm about the World Health Organization's ongoing attempt at a power grab through a proposed treaty or accord that would transfer control over its 194 member nations to this international bureaucracy. So there's really two things that's ongoing there. She talked about yesterday, there's this pandemic accord, which will take effect, will be voted on, put into place in May of next year, but the train is moving fast down that track. And then there's the 2005 rules that are being amended, about some 300 amendments, which would essentially have the same power, give the WHO the same powers. Well, members of Congress have taken notice and are now calling on the U.S. to withdraw from the World Health Organization altogether. Join me now to discuss this, Congressman Chris Smith, who is leading the congressional effort to clarify what's going on with the WHO and others. He serves on the House Committee on Foreign Affairs. He is the co-chair of the Tom Lantos Human Rights Commission and the chair of the House Global Human Rights and International Organizations Subcommittee. He represents the 4th Congressional District of New Jersey. Congressman Smith, welcome back to Washington Watch. Good to see you.
Tony, thank you very much, and thanks for teeing up this extraordinarily important issue for your viewers. It could be catastrophic for sovereignty and a host of other issues, which I'll gladly get into. But
well, I figured you would be the best to provide context here because you've been in Congress for some time and you've seen how these international agencies work. This is unprecedented. We've not seen this type of global power grab before.
It is truly unprecedented, and the idea is to, and I have the treaty, at least one of the proposals, it's not finished yet, right in front of me, and Article 4 takes away sovereignty while paying lip service to sovereignty, but then it says that activities within their jurisdiction, that it would be like the United States of America, that causes damage to their peoples and countries would empower the WHO, the World Health Organization, to step in. So you would have unelected bureaucrats based out of Geneva, and Dr. Tedros, who is the head of that, was put in his job by Xi Jinping and the Chinese Communist Party. He would be in charge by treaty obligation that would be obligatory to follow what they tell us to do. And then we would have to provide commodities. 20% of our medical supplies would have to go to WHO when they demanded it. So it's something like I've never seen. They've also embedded universal health coverage. And right now in Geneva, there are discussions going on whether or not SRHR, sexual and reproductive health and rights, should be included in universal health coverage, which obviously Tedros and all the others believe it should. He did a big meeting the other day, April 24th, Tony, and he had some 600 plus civil society organizations. And he said, we look to the CSOs, and that's all these pro-abortion groups, to hold WHO global, regional, and county offices accountable to deliver sexual and reproductive health and rights for everyone, everywhere. So they're trying to put abortion and the entire LGBTQ agenda into the WHO and into this so-called pandemic treaty. And the other thing is that it wouldn't be, according to what Biden wants to do, it wouldn't be ratified by the United States Senate. It would be similar to what he did with the agreement with Iran on nuclear weapons and on nuclear material. And that is an executive agreement, a handy little thing that just bypasses the U.S. Senate and Congress as a whole when it comes to this treaty. And it's obligatory. It says right here in the preamble, it would be binding on every country of the world. So it's a very serious attempt to undermine sovereignty and to promote an agenda that is antithetical to most Americans.
So Congressman Smith, let me break that down just a little bit.
Sure.
It threatens U.S. sovereignty, but that would include the 50 states. So if you live in a red state and you think you're protected from the long arm of the federal government, you're wrong, because through this accord, they would have the ability to reach into the states, even into local jurisdictions, would they not?
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, treaty obligations and treaty law supersedes, a other law. It is very, very powerful. And this would be construed to be a treaty by the Biden administration and by the World Health Organization. I can't imagine Americans wanting to cede our ability to make healthcare decisions to a group of unelected bureaucrats, many of whom have the ultra progressive left agenda. Like I said, they're trying to impose abortion on demand on every one of us. Biden wants to do that. We know that. But there is a large number of Americans in pro-life states right now, like Texas and Florida, that have stood up very mightily for their unborn children. They're looking to overcome that by treaty obligation. So it's not finished. Hopefully, countries, especially the Africans, who have been our best allies in pushing back on this. And again, they use COVID-19 and the pandemic as the prerequisite. This is somehow all about pandemics. Well, what is universal health coverage doing in the treaty? Where's that
right? That's an important point, that this is not just about another COVID pandemic that sweeps the world. This gives them the ability to declare an emergency, whether it be over, as you say, they use reproductive health, whether it's over abortion or the LGBTQ transgender surgeries. They can declare that an emergency. That would usurp the laws of the states, the 18 states here in the United States that are protecting minors against this experimental surgeries, would it not?
I believe it would. It's not totally clear in this draft. They're looking, as you pointed out in your opening, it's not done. My hope is that it will never be done in this form. And again, the Africans who have spoken out at the World Health Assembly, which is meeting right now, and their executive committee meets right after that. Then they're meeting again a few months later. They're on a tear to get this done quickly. And again, Dr. Tedros, who, talking about health, they even say that all lives need to be included. Well, they don't include the unborn children. Yeah. Those lives are expressly excluded by everything the WHO does and UN agencies.
Well, Congressman Chris Smith, we're out of time for this segment, but this is something we're going to continue to talk about. And
Tony, I'm going to do a hearing on it very shortly, so hopefully we'll bring some additional light and scrutiny to it in the Congress.
Looking forward to that. We'll be covering that. Congressman Chris Smith, always great to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Tony, thank you so much.